Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Spoken English Podcast.
Sam, can I tell you something I've never really said out loud before?
Of course, I'm listening.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a marine biologist. I used to watch documentaries about the ocean for hours, and I told everyone I was going to study whales one day.
I did not know this about you.
Well, life happened. I ended up here instead, talking about English with you every week.
Do you regret it?
Not really, but every time someone asks me, what are your goals, or what did you dream of as a kid, I still feel this little flutter, like that old dream never fully disappeared.
That's such a human feeling. I think most people have some version of that, a dream that got quietly put on a shelf somewhere.
Exactly. And what's interesting is, even though this topic is so personal, so many English learners don't actually know how to talk about it. They know the words dream and goal, but the deeper conversation, the real one, that's harder.
So today, we're giving people the language for that deeper conversation.
Yes, how to talk about your dreams, your goals, your ambitions, even the ones you gave up on, all in natural English.
This is going to be a good one.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Spoken English Podcast, your friendly place to learn real, everyday English through natural conversation.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Mira, and today we're talking about something that touches almost everyone, dreams and goals. Not just the big, dramatic ones, but the small, everyday goals too.
Because someone might ask you this in a job interview, on a first date, at a family dinner, or even just casually with a friend over coffee. So what are you working toward these days?
And a lot of learners freeze at that question, not because they don't have goals, but because they don't have the English to express them naturally.
This episode is great for A2 to B1 learners. We'll keep things simple, warm, and easy to follow.
Later, we'll slow down for our word tour, useful words and phrases for talking about dreams, goals, and ambition.
And near the end, in Say It Better, we'll take some basic sentences and upgrade them so they sound more natural and confident.
So, get comfortable and let's talk about dreams and goals.
Sam, let's start simple. If someone asks you, what's one of your goals right now? What's an easy, natural way to answer?
The simplest structure is just, one of my goals is to, followed by whatever you're working toward. Like, one of my goals is to save more money this year.
That's such a clean, useful sentence.
It really is, and it works for almost anything, big or small. One of my goals is to read more books. One of my goals is to get better at cooking.
What if someone has a goal that feels a bit bigger, something they're really serious about?
Then you can add a little more weight to it. Instead of just one of my goals, you could say, I'm really committed to. Like, I'm really committed to finishing my degree this year.
Committed to. That phrase sounds so much more serious than just goal.
Exactly. It shows dedication, not just a wish.
What about dreams specifically? Because dreams and goals feel a little different to me. Goals feel more practical, dreams feel more emotional.
That's such a good distinction, and I actually agree. A goal is usually something specific and achievable, like learning a skill or saving money. A dream is often bigger, more emotional, sometimes even a little unrealistic, but it still matters deeply to us.
So how do we talk about a big dream naturally without sounding overly dramatic?
A great phrase is, it's always been a dream of mine too. You could say, it's always been a dream of mine to travel across South America.
That already sounds emotional, but still natural.
Exactly. It captures that deeper feeling without needing complicated vocabulary.
What if the dream feels far away, like something that might not happen for years, or maybe not at all?
Then you can be a little more gentle with your language. You could say, someday I'd love to open my own small cafe.
Someday I'd love to. That's such a soft, hopeful phrase.
It really is, and it gives you permission to dream without needing a strict timeline attached.
I think that's important because sometimes people feel pressure to have every dream perfectly planned out.
Exactly, and that pressure can actually stop people from even talking about their dreams at all.
Let's shift a little bit. What about goals that are more short-term, like things you're working on this week or this month?
For short-term goals, the language becomes a bit more immediate. You could say, this month I'm focusing on exercising 3 times a week.
Focusing on. That's a really practical, action-based phrase.
It is, and it works well for habits and smaller improvements, things you're actively doing right now, not just hoping for someday.
What about someone who has a goal but keeps failing to reach it? I feel like that happens to almost everyone.
Oh, absolutely, myself included. And in English, we have a gentle way to talk about that without sounding like a total failure. You could say, I'm still working on it, or it's a work in progress.
Work in progress. I feel like that phrase should be printed on a t-shirt for basically every human being.
Honestly, same. It takes the pressure off completely. You're not saying, I failed. You're saying, I'm still in the process.
That's such a healthier way to talk about setbacks.
Definitely. And it keeps the door open instead of closing it with shame.
Let's talk about career goals specifically, since that's such a common topic in interviews or professional conversations.
Sure, this is where the language becomes a little more structured. A common phrase is, in the next few years, I hope to, in the next few years, I hope to move into a leadership role.
That sounds very professional and clear.
It is, and it works really well in interviews because it shows direction without sounding overconfident or unrealistic.
What if someone wants to express more ambition, like really pushing for something big in their career?
Then you could say, I'm determined to. I'm determined to become a senior manager within 5 years.
Determined to. That word carries so much strength.
It really does. It shows drive, not just a passive hope.
Let's pause here for a moment. If you're enjoying this episode so far, please take a second to like this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to Spoken English Podcast.
And we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Tell us one goal you're working on right now, big or small. We really do read your comments, so don't be shy.
All right, let's continue. Mira, what about people who feel embarrassed to share their dreams because they think others might judge them or think it's unrealistic?
That's such a real fear, and honestly, so many people carry that quietly. In English, there's a nice, humble way to share a dream even if it feels big or unusual. You could say, this might sound a little crazy, but... this might sound a little crazy, but I'd love to write a novel someday.
That phrase almost protects the dream a little, softening it before you even share it.
Exactly. It gives you a small emotional shield while still letting you be honest.
I really like that. What about goals connected to personal growth, not career or money, but more about becoming a better version of yourself?
Oh, this is such an important category, and it's often overlooked. You could say, I'm working on becoming more patient, or I'm trying to become a better listener.
Working on becoming. That feels very honest and self-aware.
It is, and personal growth goals often mean more to people than career goals, even if we don't talk about them as often.
Why do you think people talk about personal growth goals less often?
I think it's because they feel more vulnerable. Saying my goal is to make more money feels safer than saying my goal is to stop being so hard on myself.
That's such a powerful observation.
It's true, though. Emotional goals require more courage to say out loud.
Let's talk about goals that involve other people, like relationships or family. Does the language change much there?
A little, yes. It becomes more relational. You could say, one of my goals this year is to spend more quality time with my family, or I'm working on being more present with the people I love.
Being more present. That's such a meaningful phrase.
It really is, and it reflects something a lot of people want, not just doing things for others, but actually being emotionally there with them.
Let's talk about something a little heavier. What about dreams people had to give up? Because that happens too, and I feel like there's rarely good language for that.
You're right, and I think that's such an important thing to include. You could say, I used to dream of becoming a doctor, but life took me in a different direction. Or, that dream didn't work out, but I don't regret where I ended up.
That phrase, life took me in a different direction, feels so gentle.
It is, because giving up a dream doesn't need to sound like failure. Sometimes it's just growth, or change, or simply life happening.
That takes a lot of the shame out of it.
Exactly, and I think that's really important for learners to know. You're allowed to talk about lost dreams with peace, not just regret.
What about dreams that changed shape over time instead of disappearing completely?
Oh, that's such a common experience, too. You could say, my dream changed a bit over the years, but the core of it stayed the same. Like someone who wanted to be a singer and later became a music teacher instead.
So the dream evolved rather than ending.
Exactly, and that's such a beautiful, honest way to talk about personal growth.
Let's go back to something more hopeful. What about small, everyday goals, things people are working on right now, this week even?
Small goals matter just as much, honestly. You could say, this week my goal is to drink more water, or right now I'm just trying to get better sleep.
Somehow that feels very relatable to basically every adult alive.
Right? Not every goal needs to be life-changing. Small goals build the habit of working towards something, which matters just as much as the goal itself.
I love that. It removes the pressure of needing huge, impressive goals all the time.
Exactly. And honestly, most real progress happens through these small, boring, everyday goals anyway.
What about motivation? Because sometimes people have clear goals, but they lose motivation halfway through.
Oh, that happens constantly, myself included. In English, you can say, I lost motivation for a while, but I'm getting back into it. Or, my motivation comes and goes, but I keep returning to my goal.
Keep returning to my goal. That's such a hopeful way to describe motivation instead of pretending it's always constant.
Exactly, because motivation isn't a straight line. It rises and falls, and that's completely normal.
What if someone achieves a goal? How do they talk about that moment naturally without sounding too formal or stiff?
A simple, natural phrase is, I finally did it, or I actually reached that goal. Both sound proud, but relaxed at the same time.
Those feel very genuine, not like a formal announcement.
Exactly. Real accomplishment doesn't need fancy language, just honesty and a little bit of joy.
Let's bring this all together, Mira. If someone remembers just one thing from today's conversation, what should it be?
I think it's this. Dreams and goals don't need to be perfect, huge, or fully planned to be worth talking about. Whether it's a childhood dream, a small daily goal, or something you gave up on, all of it deserves honest, natural language.
That's such a warm way to end this part.
It really is, because talking about our dreams, even the messy, unfinished ones, connects us to other people in such a real way.
All right, let's slow down now and go through today's word tour. Useful words and phrases for talking about dreams, goals, and ambition.
Let's begin with our first phrase, committed to.
Committed to. Committed to.
This phrase shows serious dedication towards a goal, more than just wishing for something.
You could say, I'm really committed to improving my English this year, or she's committed to finishing her degree.
Nice examples. Let's move to our second phrase, work in progress.
Work in progress. Work in progress.
This phrase means something is still developing, not finished yet, and that's completely okay.
You could say, my English is a work in progress, or this project is still a work in progress.
Our third phrase is determined to.
Determined to. Determined to.
This shows strong willpower and drive towards achieving something.
For example, I'm determined to pass this exam, or he's determined to start his own business.
Phrase number 4, someday I'd love to.
Someday I'd love to. Someday I'd love to.
This phrase is perfect for talking about bigger, softer dreams without needing an exact timeline.
You could say, someday I'd love to live in another country, or someday I'd love to learn how to paint.
Our fifth phrase is a different direction.
A different direction. A different direction.
This phrase is useful when talking about dreams that changed or didn't happen the way you first imagined.
For example, life took me in a different direction, or my career went in a completely different direction than I expected.
And our final phrase today is lost motivation.
Lost motivation. Lost motivation.
This describes those honest moments when your drive towards a goal temporarily fades.
You could say, I lost motivation for a while, but I'm coming back to it. Or, I lose motivation sometimes, but I keep trying.
So today's phrases were committed to, work in progress, determined to, someday I'd love to, a different direction, and lost motivation.
Try picking just one or two of these and using them the next time someone asks about your goals.
Now let's move to one of my favorite parts, say it better. We'll take a few simple sentences and make them sound smoother and more natural.
Let's start with this one. A learner might say, I want to be doctor when I was young.
That sentence has a small grammar issue we can smooth out. A more natural way to say it is, when I was young, I wanted to become a doctor.
Much cleaner. Here's another one. My goal is finish my study.
We can smooth that into, my goal is to finish my studies this year.
That flows so much better. Next sentence. I try, but I not success.
We can smooth that into, it's still a work in progress, but I'm not giving up.
I love that upgrade. It turns something discouraging into something hopeful.
Exactly. One more. My dream not happen, but okay.
You could smooth that out into, that dream didn't work out, but I don't regret where I ended up.
These small changes really do make a big difference in how mature and confident your English sounds.
Absolutely. It's not about complicated grammar, it's about choosing phrases that carry real emotion clearly.
So today, we talked about dreams and goals. Big ones, small ones, career goals, personal growth goals, dreams that changed shape, and even dreams we had to let go of.
And I hope this episode reminded you that talking about your goals doesn't need to be perfect or impressive, it just needs to be honest.
Maybe I'll finally admit my whale documentary phase to more people now.
I fully support that dream, even now.
If this episode helped you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Spoken English Podcast so you never miss a new lesson.
And we genuinely love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, what's one dream or goal you've never really told anyone about?
Also, if you know someone chasing a big dream right now, please share this episode with them. It might give them just the right words to talk about it.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Take care of your English and take care of your dreams too.
This is Mira.
And this is Sam.
And you've been listening to Spoken English Podcast. Bye for now.
Take care, everyone. See you in the next episode.